Can't see me, but I'm right where Dude, I don't even know what on time is anymore, okay? I'm not even on time. I'm super late. It's been a hell of a day, especially after last night's stream. I'm just like dragging my ass so hard trying to get everything ready here. Anyways, I think I have my shit just about organized here. We're gonna get this started in a minute. Just give me one sec. Dude, tonight is gonna be a weird night. Like, I already can tell it's going to be a very quiet stream. And part of that's probably my own fault for streaming last night. But again, I kind of felt like I had to, just with everything else going on. But we're gonna get things going here in a minute. There's a lot more like real life news to cover tonight rather than like the drama involving Gamergate that we had last night. That being said, we're gonna touch briefly on that. We're gonna check in on all this insanity around First Descendant and all the controversy, call it what you will, surrounding it. But just want to remind you guys real quick here. In fact, let me pull this up in my tabs because I've been slacking really bad. Go check out Instant Gaming. Use my link down below. They've got their Christmas Advent calendar going. And I forgot, have I checked today? Yeah, they've got Bellatra on sale today. But they've got like... God, that music's annoying. I'm sorry, guys. They got like 9 different games on sale right now. Actually, I was considering picking up Dark Souls. But if you do want to go check out Instant Gaming, click the link down below in the description for the video. That will help support the channel. Especially, I'm not getting paid by them to do ad reads right now. So this is just like commission and all that. That being said, why am I looking at Snoop Dogg doing the weather? What the hell's going on here? What is this? In case you haven't heard, in case you've been living under a rock, Daniel Penny, I feel like this happened like a year and a half ago. I don't know how long ago this was. Babe, when did this whole Daniel Penny thing kick off? It's been over a year now? I don't know, this article doesn't say. Everything feels like it's been ago, though. They don't have a date on here. Oh, it was May 1st, 2023, so yeah. It's been over a year and a half ago. Absolutely insane. Yeah, so Daniel Penny acquitted in subway chokehold death of Jordan Neely, sparking applause, uproar in New York City courtroom. I wonder if they're actually going to talk about it in this article. Because apparently Jordan Neely's dad actually threatened the defense attorney or some crazy stuff like that. I don't know. It says Marine veteran Daniel Penny was acquitted by a Manhattan jury Monday in the chokehold death of Jordan Neely, lightning rod case that cast a light on the mayhem plaguing Big Apple's subways. Now, it's really funny because I was talking to my wife about this yesterday, I think, or maybe earlier today. I don't think that we're going to see BLM have the same effect this time around that they did like 4 years ago with all the riots and the Summer of Love and all that crap, in spite of all this. Because personally, I think Eric Adams, despite the fact that he's like super left-leaning, I think he cares too much about his image at this point to let it happen. Oh god, no. I don't ever want to eat anything ever again, not after Taco Bell. I quit on food. Done. Ivy looked pissed off. Poor cat had her life turned upside down today. We had to fleet bomb. They all had to go in for a car ride. My cats are all angry at me now. But yeah, I don't see New York getting lit on fire the way we saw a few years back. So I think that is one positive, that people are kind of over that BS, putting up with BLM, pretending that they're not a bunch of deranged lunatics grifting, actual grifters. So it says jurors cleared Penny, a 26-year-old Long Islander, of criminally negligent homicide after the fatal caught-on-camera encounter The funny thing is that they're still calling it a fatal encounter, despite the fact that even like the evidence, I guess, is showing that he was still alive when he was handed over to the police. The police wouldn't do CPR on Jordan Neely because apparently they were afraid of catching a disease or something. The guy was that filthy, that dirty. I guess they knew of him because of his criminal record. So nobody wanted to put their mouth on this man's mouth to give him CPR, which I can't blame them one bit. I think this is from his defense attorney here. It says, Penny finally got the justice he deserved, said one of his lawyers, Thomas Kenneth, while celebrating with him at a bar in downtown Manhattan just after the verdict. I would be very scared if I were Daniel Penny to go anywhere in public in New York. Just to be fair, like honestly, even though he was acquitted, I mean they weren't able to come to a decision on one of the charges, and then this one he was acquitted on. So it's like I can respect that he was wanting to go celebrate, but I don't know if I'd be showing my face for a while. Like just out of my caution for my own safety if I were him. His lawyer says, I'm not surprised in the sense that day one we knew that we believed he would be exonerated because the evidence overwhelmingly supported that. Verdict, which followed more than 20 hours of deliberation, came after the more serious manslaughter charge was dismissed by prosecutors last week after the 12 jurors, 7 women and 5 men. He got acquitted with a jury full of women. That is crazy. Absolutely bonkers. Like that is hard to believe, especially in New York. That's of all places. So that's the good news. The bad news, unfortunately, is the fact, oh yeah, you can see him here. This man lost weight the last year. I swear he wasn't. Plus, his mustache looks a lot thinner here. I don't know what's going on there. Personally, I'm not a fan of mustaches. Like, not even gonna lie. Oh, it's just bookmarks. So now we're seeing some crazy stuff. You're seeing people with BLM come out saying some absolutely unhinged. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna get the full screen brought up here. We can play some of these for you guys to take a look at. I haven't even listened to these clips yet. All I've seen is Angry Black Woman, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be gold. I have no idea what we're even going to listen to. So let's just go ahead and start it over.
CHIVONA-NEWSOME. I'm the co-founder of Black Lives Matter Greater New York, and I'm a devout Christian. And in my Bible, thou shalt not kill. In the
God. Right off the bat, with the hypocrisy. Okay, thou shalt not kill. Now address the BLM riots that I want to say in the summer of 2020 resulted in the death of more than 30 people directly connected to the protests and the riots after the Georgia. Okay, all right, but hey, at least she's got her morals in line.
Torah, thou shalt not kill. In Buddhism, not kill a living thing. But America has no moral, no soul. Our bloods have paved the streets of this nation since its inception. It was foolish of us to think that a black man would get justice in the system designed to... My heart bleeds.
What's with all the... I don't know why they're cutting out like that. Like, is she cursing and so they have to like clip it and paste it together? I don't understand why ABC News has it clipped like this. This doesn't make any sense. Who shared this? Daily Sneed. I don't know why they have it clipped like that.
Every single day and pray for justice.
Hey, Mahindra.
There is no one coming to save black people, or else we wouldn't live in these ghettos, we wouldn't be in these prisons, and we would be further along than we are. We wouldn't be at the absolute bottom. So forgive me for being jaded and cynical, but once we saw those non-white jurors, we knew that this case was over.
Wait, what? Non-white jurists? What?
But once we saw those non-white jurors, we knew that this case was over. 9 of them. 9 white jurors.
Oh, 9 white jurists. Oh my god, okay. I thought she says non-white. I'm like, what is she talking about? Welcome other people. The personal stream was amusing though. Are we talking about last night? I'm confused, Oblivion. Demon Slayer is getting second game by Aniplex and published by Sega. Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool. I have not played any Demon Slayer games because you know I'm a bum. I haven't done much with anime. I will probably watch my first real anime by sometime next year, I imagine. We'll see. Personally, I have no idea if I actually will get around to it.
How could there not be an uproar that the same person who got off Kyle Rittenhouse, who got off O.J. Simpson, was used here? And shame on you.
What do Kyle Rittenhouse and O.J. Simpson have to do with each other? What? What is she talking about? Does anybody know?
O.J. Simpson was used here. And shame on you. Celebrities and politicians who claim not to be racist, because the racist spoke loud and
Oh, you're talking about. Oh, yeah. So Oblivion. That's the thing. Is like I hardly like. Somebody made a comment last night that we had like I don't know 40 live viewers at one point. I don't pay too much attention to the actual analytics as far as like who's watching and where because Streamlabs doesn't tell me if it's somebody on Twitter or somebody on YouTube. So even like my highest streams, they get good, like higher viewership. A lot of times, I feel like it's view botting on Twitter, and that actually was the case when I first started streaming to X to Twitter. There was streams where I had like 100 viewers on Twitter, but I feel like most it was.
clear. John McCain's daughter, she had something to say. I think she incited a riot for the right. Phil Mickelson, he had something to say.
This woman's just this is boring as hell. This is like truly just mind-numbing dribble from this chick. Then we have this guy apparently. Let me see here. Carl Benjamin shared this one. This one's only 45 seconds. Says, so is he just calling for black people to start ending the lives of white people or what? So, this is the co-founder of BLM New York, apparently.
Vigilantes? We need some black vigilantes.
That's right.
People want to jump up and choke us and kill us for being loud. How about we do the same when they attempt to oppress us?
Right.
Oh yeah, no, he's just calling for oh, violent action. That's fun. That's cool. All right, that's gonna fly real well. Well, Mahendra, we got a few things coming up. This weird situation with this assassin that took out that guy, the insurance company CEO, and then we got Suicide Squad getting the offline mode because the game's getting shut down, as well as a new game from Sweet Baby Inc. that Master of the TDS discovered. And we'll take a peek at their video talking about it too, because there's some interesting stuff there as well.
Tired. I know you're looking for us to be like, oh, go and march. Go and march. No. This weekend, I want you to hold a community event everywhere from the Bronx to Houston to Seattle to Florida. Black people
Don't come to Seattle.
Community events.
We got enough trash here.
What you need. Just like everybody else has vigilantes.
Oh my god. I just realized the volume wasn't very loud. Can't believe BLM leaders haven't been arrested for fraud yet. That's the craziest thing. I hope Sushi Squad doesn't remove Denuvo. Sushi Squad, is that what we're calling him now? No, the whole BLM thing, yeah, we all know it was a grift. It was exposed as a grift years ago. Like, a genuine grift. Because grift means you're lying for money. This is the thing. That's why last night I didn't want to call anybody who was covering the whole stuff with Smash JT and Fred Robertson, again, all that, a grifter just for talking about it. Because a grift implies that you don't hold genuine opinions about something, you're only saying something for money. The BLM people are the very definition of a grift. They don't give two rats' asses about anybody that looks like them. All they care about is the fact that they can make money by getting donations from people that have this white guilt, and of course corporations, and of course, government affiliated groups to fund their, activism. Meanwhile, listen to what this man said. He's like, we're not going to march. Hold an event in your community. That's his way of saying we don't want to spend the money to actually try to organize anything, because again, they'd have to spend the money that they grift, essentially. Black community in South Africa. I'm so sick and tired too of the term black community, LGBT community. I don't look around and say, oh yes, the white community. We all need to get the white community together. It's like, or the Asian community. It's like, maybe people are more than just their skin color. Maybe there's more to it than that. Maybe the scene off Life of Brian, where they all believe that Brian's Jesus or the Messiah. And he's like, no, you're all individuals. You're all different. And they're all like in unison saying, yes, we're all individuals. We're all different. That's what I think about anytime these guys start calling anything a community. Grifter gets free game, free chair, and free soda and foods by game companies. Oh, you mean like Khalif Adams, Mighty Keef, all the big guys on YouTube who basically, promote the corporate message and never say anything negative about anything. And then, yeah, they get Scuf gaming controllers and PlayStations and all that other shit sent to them, free game keys and everything to play like games that just came out. Yeah, but no, guys who criticize corporations are the grifters, right? So of course now we're seeing hundreds of protesters taking to the streets in anger, demanding justice for Jordan Neely. But the funniest part is even with the update from Raz Alerts like 3 hours ago, this is not seemingly turning into what we saw in 2020. I'm just going to mute this because this is just a bunch of idiots chanting. Meanwhile, pirates who can't afford to buy the game play the game. Yeah. No, honestly, the guys who are the actual grifters, the ones who are doing all this for the media access, the corporate access and stuff, they're the real scum of the earth. Those guys who are, again, they hold no real opinions of their own. They're just going to say whatever they need to get access to stuff. So yeah, this is about the extent of it. This kind of looked like Seattle for a minute. Dude, this is like so much smaller than what we've seen in the past when it comes to like protests and riots. It's like, where did all this go? Where does all the money? Where's all the activism and the pallets of bricks that get dropped off in the cities, you know? When you divide a group by race, you create fixation on those insignificant differences. 100%. That's very much the case. So yeah, we're not even seeing like actual organized protests at this point. All we're seeing,
white people.
Oh, here you go. This gal telling the white people that they shouldn't be there. They should go be policing white people.
I watched the non-black POCs all say they were scared of Jordan, but the black man testified that he was not. So we got a problem. So all the white people here, y'all got work to do. Stay the fuck out of black people business. Go in your neighborhood and do the anti-blackness work in there. I don't need your opinion. I don't need no Marxist bullshit. Okay. I can read black Marxism on my own. Okay. Y'all been reading 275 years in English before we was. Right. Go in your own communities and correct this bullshit. And stay out of our fucking business. Thank you. Because the white people on that jury didn't give a fuck about what they heard on the stand. Jordan merely approached no one.
Wow, this is what literally the epitome of, you know, be quiet, a black woman is talking. But yeah, okay. So despite the occasional person who pops off and wants to act like, hey, go attack a white person now, we're not actually seeing the organized chaos that we had in 2020. But you're seeing stuff like this from Black Lives Matter, saying we need a world where empathy replaces fear, where compassion replaces violence, and where no one's humanity is up for debate. Jordan Neely deserved more. His life, like all black lives, held infinite worth. We honor him by refusing to accept a system that turns away from those in need and rewards those who cause harm. Who turned away from him? This man's dad showed up and is countersuing or trying to sue Daniel Penny in a civil court. This man abandoned his kid when his kid was like 8. And here he is, years later, a drug addict who's been arrested like 50 times, who ended up dying because of the fact that he was aggressively like getting in people's faces and threatening them, and somebody decided to subdue him. And now his dad comes out of the woodworks and is like, oh, you know, I'm gonna sue you, man. It's like, dude, for real, this is the kind of crap that BLM does. And this is why I say again, anybody who labels somebody with a outside of the mainstream opinion as a grifter, it's just projection. That's all it is. The term grifter literally means nothing anymore. Just trying to segregate themselves again. That's what they want, Oblivion. It's all about segregation. Honestly, it's like there are the few people, I know we have a few in Discord and stuff who definitely would like segregation too, for opposite reasons. But the reality is the actual people calling for segregation are the ones who are also promoting like BLM and all the DEI activism, because they want all the black people to have their own community, but they want all the free stuff. They want to be like, okay, gimme, gimme, gimme. Now all the white people go away. It doesn't work that way. Like you don't get the free stuff from the white people, and then you get to tell the white people to leave. So, yeah. Oh, Jess is talking about Hawk 2. I forgot that Hawk 2 came. I think I bookmarked that. Let me see here. The Hawk 2 girl. My God, I don't know if any of you guys saw that, but she's over on Twitter or TikTok this morning doing something really cringe. Oh, Taylor Lorenz. We're going to get into Taylor Lorenz in a minute. That woman's insane. But yeah, there's a lot with this CEO assassin dude I want to talk about. So much fishy stuff, too, because something is not adding up with this guy. See, this is why you don't bookmark anything like sensitive or not YouTube friendly, because if you have to scroll through your bookmarks on stream, everyone's going to see what you bookmarked. So And I don't use alt accounts. Alright, yeah, I don't think I bookmarked Hawk Tua. Wonder if she still has it up. What is it? Is it Hawk Tua or Haley? I guess it's Haley Welch. Let me see. No, so it was a TikTok post. She hasn't posted on Twitter. So she reposted something from this Over Here account on Twitter on December 4th. She hasn't replied to anything since December 4th. Holy crap, she's in so much trouble. Oh my god, that's great. Hey, Lugia. Hey, Vernum, how's it going? Dad's milk got expired. Exactly. Dad had to go out for cigarettes, milk, some, probably a pack of Bud Light. Yeah, oh, Haley Welch, dude, scum of the earth. My god. And I thought she was just one of these uninteresting people who got famous because of a stupid meme that went viral. But she truly is a horrible person. Oblivion, hope you noticed before drinking it. Yeah, no, I think he was talking about Jordan Neely's milk. So now this whole thing with this Luigi Mangione, guys. Have you seen all this stuff with this supposed assassin? Dude, none of this stuff is adding up. This is absolutely insane. Not to mention the women simping for this guy. It's unreal. But New York Post says Luigi Mangione, United Healthcare CEO, suspected assassin, expresses disdain for the health insurance industry in his manifesto. So here's the weird part, guys. This dude apparently was a... Wow, my cat is screaming. Tucker, stop. Down, boy. That's your sister. Both fixed. Knock it off. So apparently when they arrested him, he still had his 3D printed weapon as well as his manifesto and everything else on him. Not to mention, I don't think this is the same guy. Like I could be going to like tinfoil hat, territory, but I don't think this is actually the same guy. Oh, you didn't get the reference? Yeah, no, Dad went out for milk. Went out for a pack of cigs, never came home. So it says Luigi Mangione, the suspected assassin of Brian Thompson, raged over major healthcare insurance companies' growing power and claimed they cared about immense profit at the expense of Americans in a handwritten manifesto, according to... A guy looks... I don't know, it's really weird. He looks a lot skinnier than he does in that picture. It must be an old picture. Mangione, 26, cited United Healthcare as one of the biggest companies in the U.S. by market capitalization and slammed the health insurance business in the 2.5-page manifesto addressed to the feds, and recovered by investigators during his arrest on Monday. He says the reality is these companies have gotten too powerful and they continue to abuse our country for profit. He apologized for any trauma he inflicted, likely alluding to his alleged execution-style shooting, but said it had to be done. I don't know. I don't buy it for a second. I feel like there's something. Like the guy was either like a fall guy or Patsy or something. There's a lot of weird stuff going on here too. In April, he quoted author Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, a critique of capitalism, the bourgeoisie, and how groupings of class are indoctrinated in society, according to a description. In another post on Goodreads, Mangione quoted the infamous anti-establishment Unabomber Ted Kaczynski. Oh boy. Imagine a society that subjects people to conditions that make them terribly unhappy, then gives them the drugs to take away their unhappiness. He wrote at one. Interesting. I don't know. Anyways, this is not South Korea yet. There's been some interesting stuff. So this guy here, Jack Mack on Twitter, says, I spoke with a source that had a lot of friends that went to high school with Luigi. What keeps coming up is a back surgery that changed everything for him and he went absolutely crazy, in quotes. Checks out with his Goodreads history and the x-ray in his header. So I guess he's got some books about back pain and an x-ray. That's right in the area where my herniated disc is, like that L4, L5, I think. Maybe I shouldn't have back surgery. What? I might turn into an assassin. You never know. I'm a quarter Sicilian. We're both Italian. It could happen. More info. The back injury happened when he was surfing in... Oh, no, I don't surf. We're safe. Surfing in Hawaii. Surgery didn't go great. He moved to Japan. Oh, that sounds like me. I could do that. You want to move to Japan? Yeah? Okay. The weather's like Washington. Then again, so's the UK. I think the food might be better in Japan. Just have to learn to like it. Well, yeah, Washington and the UK, it's cloudy, rainy, white pasty people. His contact with family stopped about a year ago. Recently, the family reached out to his friends from high school asking if they had info on him. Okay, so he kind of went AWOL, I guess, went off the grid. So he's been pretty aloof for a while. This checks out with his IG tagged photos, as there were a lot of posts from family through 2023, but none recently. Then another person, this got community noted, but apparently the note was not actually helpful, says, seems like the shooter had some sort of mental breakdown about 6 months ago and totally vanished. And then you see people tagging him saying, hey, are you okay? Nobody's heard from you in months. Apparently your family's looking for you. Thinking of you in prayers every day in your name. I know you're missed and loved. Another one from back, looks like in July, saying, hey man, I need you to call me. I don't know if you're okay or just in a super isolated place and have no service. I haven't heard from you in months. You made commitments to me for my wedding, and if you can't honor them, I need to know so I can plan accordingly. So these are all people like tweeting at him. He's not even responding. We do the bare minimum for a reasonable price. Hell yeah, Vernon. I'd be the most minimal assassin ever. Like, what's the least effort I could put into this, you know? Weirdest thing they found him in McDonald's. So Lucia, I was hearing that it was like a Starbucks that he was in, that he was flirting with, but then I saw that there's a story apparently that it was like a McDonald's worker that identified him or something. Is that where they actually arrested him? We should all move to Japan. Hey, you know what? I've heard that the property's cheap. If you have like a decent living in the United States, you can actually afford a lot in there. So maybe like get all the relatively based Westerners to all move to Japan and keep Japan based, you know? Thoughts on Indiana Jones? You know, honestly, Mahendra, it's on Game Pass. If it wasn't 115 gigabytes with ridiculous PC requirements, I would consider downloading it. I was thinking about downloading it and giving it a shot, just because of the fact that I've actually heard positive things about it. But to be honest, it looks really boring, and I actually have a bookmark, I think, that I can pull up here in a minute. It just doesn't look good, in my opinion. All the other crap aside, the people that made the game, all the weird satanic stuff the one guy was doing, the weirdo with the like half-shaved head and with the pride shirt for the modern audience crap, all that stuff aside, the game just looks kind of boring for it. You can buy a shop and a house for 50K in Japan? That is insane. A Japanese room is small. Yeah, no, I know that their rooms are smaller. That is a thing. Although, our apartment's only 1,000 square feet, and there's 5 of us living here. 3 animals. So, I can deal with small. We've had to deal with small for a while. You see Nintendo deleted this tweet that says, free him with Luigi. A lot of people sharing the Luigi memes. And then you get to the simping, okay? You got Taylor Lorenz here, who gets apparently roasted by Piers Morgan. This woman has been, like, elated, like, delighted beyond all reckoning since this guy did this. And I know everyone's got different opinions saying, well, I'm not going to cry for an evil person who, you know, got what was coming to him. It's like, I still look at it and say, look, if you're going to live in a civilized society, you can't resort to this kind of behavior, because what happens when it's no longer the evil insurance company CEO? It's somebody who you like, who somebody else feels wronged by, and they can justify being a vigilante and taking that person out. It is the definition of slippery slope. Like, I don't think that this is ever a good situation when you are going to just say, hey, these guys are ruining our life. Let's just start taking them out one by one, popping them off, you know? That just opens Pandora's box, and you can never go back from that. Like, that's pure anarchy. So it's PewDiePie? Yeah, but PewDiePie probably has a really nice place, to be fair. So let's listen to Taylor Lorenz. We haven't heard from her for a while.
I do believe in the sanctity of life, and I think that's why I felt, along with so many other Americans, joy, unfortunately, you know, because it feels...
Oh boy. Oh, she never disappoints. Joy when this happens.
Like...
Serious?
I mean...
Joy in a man's execution?
Maybe not joy, but certainly not empathy. Because again,
we're watching the footage. How can this make you joyful? This guy's a husband, he's a father, and he's been gunned down in the middle of Manhattan. Why does that make you joyful?
Of Americans that he murdered. So are the tens of thousands of Americans, innocent Americans, who died because greedy health insurance executives like that.
So before we finish the rest of her thought, my biggest issue with this coming from Taylor Lorenz is the fact that this is the woman who still wears 2 masks everywhere, says she's immunocompromised, and that immunocompromised people are being picked off like flies because of the fact that nobody else is wearing a mask. And here she is talking about, oh no, but all these people who've died as a result of their insurance claims being denied. Woman, you think raw dogging air, she called it raw dogging air last week for people who are not actually wearing masks. Hey, Guitar Man, joyful of the CEO, the insurance CEO getting knocked off, okay? That's what we're talking about here, is that guy.
This one, push policies of denying care to the most vulnerable people. And the many millions of Americans that have watched people that I care about suffer and in some cases die because of lack of health care.
So should they all be killed then? Should they all be killed, these healthcare executives? Would that make you even more joyful?
No, that would not.
She says no and then smiles. And then, guys, here's the funniest part. I forgot to look up the tweet. Right after this happened, okay? Right after this happened, I want to say within the first 12 or 24 hours, she then shared the name and photo of another insurance company's CEO. As if to say, okay, you guys took out one, now go get the next one, right? Raw dogging. You know, Vernum, like, if you're having intimate relations with a person that you don't know about their health history and you don't wrap it up before you put it in, they call that raw dogging, you know. So she was saying that essentially anybody who doesn't mask when they go outside is raw dogging. I'm not even kidding. Okay. She went mask off. That's funny, Lugia. Yeah, she legitimately went mask off, which doesn't happen very often for Taylor Lorenz.
Well, why not?
And
Why
smile?
I think because it wouldn't fix the
You seem to
system.
find the whole thing hilarious.
I find your question
A
funny.
bloke's been murdered in the street. I don't find it funny at all.
I don't find it funny that tens of thousands of Americans die every year. And
dude, she honestly thinks that this is the way out of this. She thinks that this is the right course. And again, I understand people are like, well, I'm not going to feel sorry. Okay, let's back up a second before we get to this whole, oh, he's this evil CEO who makes billions of dollars and he's ruining everyone's lives. Okay. The insurance companies, unfortunately, the insurance, the way insurance is done sucks. We all agree on that. There's a million ways that we could all probably agree that are better ways to do it. That doesn't mean that this guy, just because he's the CEO of a company, deserves to be, you know, executed on the streets. At least in my mind, I don't see that as being an equivalent response for bad policies for an insurance company. I think insurance companies suck, obviously, and unfortunately, we should figure out a better way to do things. But the U.S. is so bad as far as like how we actually operate under the premiums and rules and stuff with insurance and what you qualify for and what you don't. But that doesn't mean popping these people off one by one. Like, it doesn't matter, like, oh, that's going to save people's lives by just executing these people. Like, how is that the rational response? And I've seen so many people who are like, oh, but if this fixes things. Yeah, and what if it doesn't fix things? And what if it becomes the norm that anytime you have a company run by somebody that you don't like, or you don't like the decisions they make, you just start taking them out too? Like I said, this is the very definition of a slippery slope. Like, holy crap, guys. Cringe teeth. Yeah, that's just Taylor Lorenz's teeth, unfortunately. Yeah, and the CEO will be replaced by another CEO. And then people were like, oh, but see, there's change, because then the insurance company came out and they backed off of, the whole thing was they were going to stop covering anesthesia. You were going to have to pay for anesthesia out of pocket. And we all know anesthesia for surgeries is ridiculously expensive, right, guys? And they're like, they walked that back. And they're like, oh, see, him doing this actually changed it. It's like, no, it didn't, because it only fixed it for like 2 places in Connecticut, or three things in Connecticut. It had nothing to do with nationwide coverage. So, truth, the CEO in question, the company in question that he was CEO of, had the highest rate of claim denial. I think it was something like upwards of 30%. So it was bad. Like, the amount of claims that were denied was up to like 30%. But yeah, Oblivion, taking out one guy is not going to fix it, because there's always going to be more people. There's always going to be worse people. There's always going to be other scumbags who are going to, you know, screw you over. So you can't say, you know, okay, well, auto manufacturer CEO builds a bad product. It would cost me $10,000 to fix my car. I should go take him out. It doesn't work that way. Mafia, Mexican cartel tactics, right? Hey, Tekla, how's it going?
Because they are denied life-saving healthcare from people like the CEO. Now, I want to fix the system. You're right. We shouldn't be going around shooting each other with vigilante justice. No. I think that it is a good thing that this murder has led to America.
I love it. She didn't say, I don't think we should kill people, but she really wanted to. She came really close to saying it.
Really, the media elites and politicians in this country paying attention to this issue for the first time. You mentioned you couldn't understand why somebody would feel this reaction when they watched a CEO die. It's because you have not dealt, it sounds like, with the American healthcare system in the way that millions of other Americans.
Oh, Taylor. I know British people who would tell you that the British healthcare system is a disaster. Absolute disaster. And she's all like, oh, but you're British. You don't understand how bad it is here. Based on what I've heard, if you listen to the guys on Lotus Eaters talk about the British healthcare system, the national health system there, it's a disaster. It's a complete effed up joke. Like, not even... Oh, man. This woman's a complete and total idiot.
I've dealt with the healthcare system in various ways in America. I don't think it's perfect by any means, but the idea that I would view it as something...
Have you been denied life-saving treatment?
The idea that I would view it as something joyful, that a man has been, who's just a healthcare executive, has been executed in the street, I find completely bizarre.
Wow. Okay, that didn't disappoint. Taylor Lorenz might be the most horrible human being on the planet. I'll come back to this one in a minute. So, okay, so we're talking about like these women that are simping for this guy, right? Taylor Lorenz obviously is like his #1 fan. So you see this tweet Elijah Schaefer shared from Pop Base saying, CNN reports that a 2-page document from Luigi Mangione was found, which included the lines, "These parasites had it coming. I do apologize for any strife and trauma, but it had to be done." This woman responds with, this is kind of gross, guys. I apologize in advance. "No lube, no protection, all night, all day, missionary, cowboy, reverse cowboy, doggy, backwards, sideways, on the bed, on the couch, bent over the kitchen counter, by the fireplace, against the wall, in the shower, on the floor, in the basement, against the window, in my hole." Yeah. So apparently, because this guy, once upon a time, first off, he looks like a twink, we're being honest. I'm not getting like heterosexual vibes off of him, but all these women are like hardcore simping for this dude because he popped off some CEO, right? And it's gotten really weird. So Sovereign Bra shared on Twitter, like, this does not look like the same dude, not even close. You can see in the security cam footage, there's like a massive separation between his eyebrows. Over here, he's got my good old Italian unibrow going on that I have to shave like 3 times a week. Now, again, maybe he had just had it waxed or shaved here. I don't know. I can't speak to that. You see the high-resolution photo of the suspect in his holding cell here. Apparently, it looks like he peed his pants. I don't know why he would pee his pants. Maybe they caught him by surprise. Very strange. You see, it's got, I don't know if this is a meme or not. I assume it might be. This Goodreads review of the Lorax saying, unless someone likes you, cares a whole, so unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's gonna get better. It's not. With a review of the Lorax on there. I guess they've got him in a vest so he can't hurt himself, and then it gets better. Old Man Grimm has this thread going of people who are actually simping hard for this dude. And of course, if there's anybody who's gonna simp for terrible people, it's Alyssa Mercante. We all know this. You can see right here, attention Luigi Mangione, I live in Brooklyn. So she's like, hey, I want this guy to come visit me. I think they think he's hot because he's going to jail. They feel comfortable saying these things. Wouldn't surprise me either way. U.S. healthcare is super expensive. Sometimes have to wait a year in Poland to be done with much needed procedure. Yeah. Well, I think it's the way everywhere, to be honest. I think a lot of countries, unless you live in a from what I hear, like France takes like half your money in taxes, but I guess according to some, they've kind of got it figured out there, the whole socialism thing. I would never want to try that here, but like I guess it works for them. And then you see, I don't know who she's talking about here. She was wearing this Daddy's Little Meatball t-shirt. Or sorry, Mommy's Little Meatball. I find it disgusting that she's Italian and I have to share heritage with this woman. But then she's like, I heard you were bi. I'll ask if he wants to hang too, with some dude with a Daddy's Little Meatball t-shirt. Obviously because Alyssa Mercante is Italian, and so she's like, oh my god, this edgy Italian guy just popped off some evil CEO. Let's see. Riley McLeod. When a suspect in a crime has a gaming history, folks often look for meaning in it, but there's no big mystery surrounding the United Healthcare shooting. Apparently, too, I think I might have forgot to bring this up. Let me grab my bookmarks here real quick. There was something from Niche Gamer about this dude's involvement in, I can't remember if it was Minecraft or what the story. Let me see if I've got it here. Hang on a second, guys. I told you I was super late to getting, sitting down and doing the stream. So I didn't even get a chance to bring up most of my bookmarks I had. I don't even know if this one's real. If it is, I'm kind of disturbed. Let me see here. Where is the Niche Gamer post? Found it later on. Taylor Lorenz, George Neely. Oh, here we go. Niche Gamer. All right. So it says, man arrested for ending the life of the healthcare CEO allegedly worked on Civilization 6. Early Monday morning, the FBI arrested Luigi Mangione in connection with the shooting of the CEO, Brian Thompson. He was reportedly recognized by an employee at McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, and was carrying a weapon and multiple fraudulent IDs when he was arrested. This is weirder and weirder, guys. I don't know. This feels like a setup. Like, not that it was a setup, but like he was in on it to some degree, but he wasn't the actual shooter. As information has started to filter out about the suspect, a surprising link to the video game world was established. According to CNN, the suspect Luigi Mangione worked as an intern at Firaxis Games, I don't know how to pronounce that one, and claimed to have fixed hundreds of game bugs on Civilization 6. Meanwhile, the New York Post is reporting that while in college, Mangione started the University of Pennsylvania Game Research and Development Environment. Other details have started to trickle out about the shooting suspect as well, though not related to gaming. Mangione appears to be a fan of PayPal founder Peter Thiel and an AI optimist, having tweeted multiple times about the ways in which technology could eventually help humanity achieve immortality. Oh, so he's just a kook. Okay. The words delay, deny, defend were engraved into the bullets. This is all very strange. How many people who are just going to casually take out some CEO and go and just wait to get caught in McDonald's somewhere, not even try to hide their face the day of the shooting, like when he was flirting with that Starbucks employee and everything else, are going to go through the extent of engraving a word onto a bullet case? That doesn't even make any sense. Hey, Susano, how's it going? Let me see here. I don't want to visit him in jail. Absolutely not. Gross. Doesn't work that way. Otherwise, a lot of CEOs would have been offed right now due to them releasing shitty products. Should not advocate. No, that's exactly it. That's what I'm saying. And I saw so many people, not just like the Mercantes and Taylor Lorenz simping for this guy and supporting what he did. There were just average people I follow, like moderate left, moderate right, extreme right, people across the political spectrum who were agreeing with this. And I'm like, yo, like, I'm sorry, guys. This is not a good thing to advocate for, regardless of how you feel about the person or the shitty practices of their company. Saying, I don't like your company's practices, I feel like you're hurting people, I'm just going to go pop off and take you out? Maybe he's not a very good assassin. No, clearly he's not very good if he is the actual assassin. The deed is then justified by anyone who thinks something is bad. That's exactly my point of lithium. That's what I'm trying to get to, is like, people across the board who are justifying this are not seeing the big picture. Because anybody who feels like they have a moral obligation to right a wrong of some type are going to go out of their way to do that. Maybe he never played enough. I don't know, man. I never played a single GTA game, and I don't feel like ending anybody over insurance or a bad product or whatever. Again, I'm not a complete lunatic, so. Oh, that being said, I think we can move on to some gaming news. Kind of covered the big stories. Didn't really get into Haley Welsh, but to be honest, I'm a little tired of saying and hearing Hach Tua. You don't like Alyssa's articles, they're bad products. Well, I strongly advocate to not try to assassinate anybody over a bad product or an opinion you don't like or any bad policy. We don't advocate for that here. We advocate for the right to bear arms and not to be a maniac and use them against people who don't deserve it. Imagine playing GTA game in a wanted level 5. You know, honestly, dude, I've thought for a few times, like, I should probably go back and play a few of them. I just don't have time, man. I don't have time to recap the things that I never got around to playing. I have to only play the things I have now, and maybe things that I've been playing for the last few years, like my go-to games when I'm just trying to relax and have a good time. Feels like a Bethesda game. The NPC kills someone, then sits down to eat a burger like nothing happened. Yeah, I mean, it feels very fishy. That's what I'm saying. Something seems incredibly off with this entire situation, guys. I don't know what it is about it. But unfortunately, it's just, again, I think there was more in this thread too, other people as well. And you saw a lot of these people that Alyssa was retweeting. This person here says the bear video game actually looks pretty cool. And then Luigi Mangione responded, LMAO, the planning that went into this, I'm working on something big myself. If these are real tweets, this person tweeted that, and of course Alyssa reposted it. Another one here, all of these are reposted by Alyssa. Of course, she's going to be at the Game Awards, so why not? Today we are all Italian, Luigi Mangione. I hate that they're paying the premiums. I shoot at the CEO. That's racist. You know, I'm Sicilian. I should be offended by that and be able to, like, screech about it online. We're finally on the verge of learning once and for all if Italians are white. Renaming Columbus Day Luigi Mangione Day and making it acceptable to celebrate Italian heritage again. Why was it not acceptable before? And of course, you've got The Sopranos. He took action against private health insurance corporations of what he did. He was a brave Italian martyr. In this house, Luigi Mangione is a hero. End of story. Texting every Italian American friend I have and saying not him being one of y'all. Again, these are all reposted by Alyssa. And this is just the sad simping of mentally deranged women for these murderous men. What is it with these damaged women? I know that men do it too with women that are damaged. They're like, I can fix her. It's like, no, you can't. But why do women seek out these complete sociopathic men, and they go, oh, but I love him. And it's like, no, you shouldn't. Definitely should not. Oh my God. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to, I kind of want to do a quick recap of everything that's happened over the last course of 12 hours here. Don't want to see that. Now we've got DOA Momiji getting into it with Melanie Mac, and I didn't want to focus on the Melanie Mac side of this whole Gamergate disaster because I know a lot of people are suspicious that Melanie Mac might be not a legitimate, like a bad Christian or a fake Christian. I'm just like, guys, I'm not going to make that claim. What I will say though is I don't agree with a lot of her opinions about, again, morality or purity or whatever this stuff, given the fact that we see a lot of hypocritical tendencies from people online. It's like, yeah, I'm just going to make my own opinion, to be honest, about a lot of this stuff. And, you know, everyone's allowed to, like I said last night, everyone's allowed to feel the way that they feel. I don't think Dread has gotten into it with anybody, so I think him and Smash just kind of buried it and moved on, which is good. Yes, okay, so Dread hasn't tweeted about this. So that part of it's done. I think Melanie Mac, though, is still doing this with people. And it's unfortunate because, once again, this is one of these situations that just needed to, okay, that we had one bad day, let's let it die, move on. But I think, unfortunately, this might have done some damage for people. She's not a legitimate gamer for starters. Yeah, far be it from me, though, to tell people who is and who's not a true gamer. I mean, look, I grew up playing as many video games as I could. We didn't have much money. We didn't have very many systems. But I did what I could with what I had. And then, as I got older, I spent a lot of time with specific games. I didn't have a huge video game collection. My N64 games and GameCube titles, because I bought a lot of them used, was far more expansive than my previous systems like NES, Super Nintendo, all that. But that was because I had my own money eventually with the GameCube to buy my own games. That being said, I don't have a whole lot of time to play games. That's why I try to do a couple of game streams a week, just so I have an excuse to play a game myself. So I don't want to be that person that's like, oh, that person's not a real gamer anyways. It's just more the fact that I'm like, yeah, definitely gaming has been invaded by people who just want to use it as a means to end. And that goes across the board, across the spectrum. She's annoying. Yeah, no. Yeah, Mahendra, here's the thing. I actually know people who I would say are religious zealots or overly religious, but they still just keep to themselves. They might have their own personal beliefs to a point that are more extreme than my own, but they're not around telling people how to live their lives. They're doing the work themselves and doing what they believe is right in their own way, in their own life. They're not trying to like gatekeep and tell other people how to live. Then you get the people who do a lot of the religious zealotry, and they're very vocal about it with other people. And I go, okay, it's one thing if you hold those opinions, and it's one thing if you defend your own views on life. And I think everyone's entitled to their own opinions. So again, if you're talking online, you go, well, this is where I'm coming from. I think it's 100% justified to share your own viewpoint on things. But it is a whole nother step to tell people how they should feel about things based on your own personal belief. That is definitely something. Be less concerned with people over 18 and focus on your audience. Yeah. Yeah, Techlith, that's the thing. It's like, okay, do I use the word? Sure. Do I use the word in memes and all that because it's funny? Sure. Would I ever think it's funny or cool or edgy to spam that word 1,000 times a day and try to get money off Twitter interactions because I say the F word? No, it's not. It doesn't do anything. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it's one thing to say, okay, I don't, say, oh, you're a Christian, you can't say it. You know what? Just piss off, like whatever. It's another thing to be like, I'm going to preach at you, and then 99% of the rest of my day, I'm going to spend spamming a word that's, considered a slur. It's like, okay, give me a... Again, this is not me judging her own personal belief or faith or whatever. It's just the reality is like, you're holding two very opposite viewpoints or trying to hold them at the same time. I don't know. Can't talk about optional nudity, streamer mode, and player choice as to what we experience, but she's not a gamer, so she should think about it. Yeah, and then honestly, I hate that she's running with Dread Roberts' take, because I like I talked about last night, I think Dread Roberts, whether you agree with his own views on morality, I think he had a point that he was trying to make that just got overlooked because he might have misused, what he might have attributed it to the wrong game. Didn't mean to talk about First Descendant specifically. It was pointing out more the fact that people were just kind of accepting, hey, now that we're not woke anymore, now we can just have every game loaded full of like sexual content. When the reality is, he's like, that's not going to make games great on its own. Or again, he might personally think it's all bad. He's allowed to his opinion, whatever. But then Melanie Mac is kind of like running with it still, and I'm like, God, I've read so many shitty opinions from that woman. And honestly, like, I don't know. She got into it a while back, like a few days ago, with somebody about obesity. Saying basically, if you're fat, just eat less food. And you go, yes. In most situations, that works. In some situations, you don't know the person's like actual medical problems. And there are people who legitimately, we're not talking big boned, glandular issue. I'm talking about like serious health issues where their body just puts on excess weight, even if they eat next to nothing. Sometimes there are exceptions to that, but it's like, she's got my body type. She's probably an ectomorph. I think she's like, what, 5? She might be taller than me. She might be like 5'7", 5'8". I'm 5'6". And she weighs less than I do. Like, we're both ectomorphs, okay? We're naturally thin people. And I'm not gonna go out there yelling at people who have a harder time losing weight and telling them, just eat less food, you fat. It's like, I can eat as much as I want and I don't gain weight. That's not my place to tell people how to lose weight because I can't gain weight. It makes less than no sense. She worked with Jeff Keighley? I didn't know that. Thoughts on a non-Christian audience? Most of my audience is non-Christian. Like I said before, I'm raised Christian. I still hold my beliefs, even if I'm not actively like going to church and stuff. But I'm not here to be like your moral arbiter. If you ask my opinion on something, like gay marriage, abortion, whatever, I'll give you my opinion honestly. But I don't expect all you guys to conform to my beliefs. I don't expect you guys to, hold the same beliefs or values on every single topic that I do, and that's okay. Like, that's perfectly fine. You're 160 pounds? See, at my heaviest, guys, I was like 145. And that was like pure lean muscle. That was like working 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, and then certain days, not every day. And then going to the gym at like 11 o'clock at night, working out to 1 o'clock in the morning. Oh, I was drinking a shit ton of like creatine and post-workout and pre-workout and yeah. Yeah, see, not, again, here's the thing. I'm not expecting everybody, especially in the whole Gamergate sphere of things, to all agree on everything, to come from all the same walks. No, we're all going to be very different from how we were raised, how we hold our own beliefs. Unfortunately, there is just a lot of nuance that gets left behind when you're talking online, where you just don't have the ability to speak on certain things. No. Yeah. No, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I'm sorry. People who say it's not, it's like, no. It's a Christmas movie. So let's go ahead and talk about Suicide Squad real quick. We'll cover Life is Strange in a minute. Nobody really cares. It's unfortunate because that topic I found really interesting when I was writing my article on it. But nobody seems to really care that much about the studio that made Life is Strange. YouTube erased your food comment. Well, I don't have the YouTube chat brought up in on the browser. Let me scroll up and see if it's on Streamlabs. Let me see if I can see it. Let me see. The last comment I saw from you, the last reply was talking about because the deed is then justified by anyone who thinks something is bad. Maybe they're then the target. Mob justice always wins. So yeah, I didn't see anything about food. I think YouTube is censoring you, dude. The weight means nothing to you. Yeah, no, that's the thing, Susano. It's like, as long as you're comfortable and you can physically be active at whatever weight you are, everyone's body is very different. That's one thing that's very real about humanity, is we all carry our weight very differently. Tend to use tests and generally go by the waistline measurement. Yeah. Your parents have been through actual communism. After transformation, you've been living in 99% Catholic country, so you see straight through that Goonergate. I can't imagine living in a 99% Catholic country. But again, I mean, America's got a fair amount of Catholics, and a lot of people that I interact with online. I mean, over at Fandom Pulse, John Della Rose and John Trent are both Catholic. Yeah, sorry, Oblivion. Mac is like a Christian activist and a gaming channel. Well, okay, so that's the thing, guys. That's why for a while, I was gonna make this my gaming channel, and then it's like, well, once the audience all came here, I was like, okay, well, I don't have the energy or the effort to put into having like 5 different channels. So my wife and I started the podcast channel, and then she's been so busy we haven't recorded anything together. So that's why I do videos on news, politics, all like Hollywood, all that stuff on the other channel. And then this one here was like, I'll do my gaming news and streams here, but the live streams will cover all of it, just to like cover all of our bases, right? So our live streams, on Mondays, it's fair game. All the topics, we're just going to talk about all of it. But when I'm doing my gaming streams, those are meant to be just gaming. And if, a topic comes up, we'll talk about it. But it's like, I feel like for some people, like I said before, gaming was always the vehicle to get them to where they were going. Whereas I tried just being a game streamer on Twitch for like 3 straight years. And I stayed away from politics. I stayed away from talking about, like, I ate so much shit when I was streaming with my friends, because all my friends online, all the guys I played with, they all hated Trump. They all hated conservatives, all hated Republicans. But, they were cool with me, and as long as we didn't talk politics. So it's like I spent 3 years on Twitch with 1 viewer at a time, not sharing my own beliefs or my own opinion. And I got to where, after 2020 and after I started, like, getting over Twitch's bullshit, and I got sick and tired of not being able to be honest. I was like, you know what? I still want to cover gaming news, but I'm not going to not share my own opinion anymore. I'm sick and tired of it. Poland is one of the most homogenous countries there is. Oh, no, I know that for a fact, Tekla. That's the funniest thing about CDPR, CD Projekt Red, trying to have their diversity initiatives, because of the fact that they are so freaking white, Polish, like ethnically Polish, that what diversity do you think you're going to inject? How are you going to create diversity or a diverse company in Poland when 99% of what you're pulling from are all ethnically Polish people? Well, that's the thing, Oblivion. Twitch has never had discoverability if you are just a normal dude. If you're not acting like iShowSpeed whipping your dick out there accidentally on a stream, or acting insane jumping over cars, or if you're not some Twitch thought, you know, that gets half naked in a bathtub sucking on some microphone, you're damn near impossible to actually get discovered on it. Although Kick is no better, guys. Kick is pretty much full of people that just want to sell you graphics or help you view bot your channel. 99% of the time, if I'm streaming to Kick and Twitch on like Fridays for our game streams or occasionally on Wednesdays, my Kick chat will only ever have a person pop in there if they're trying to sell me, oh, do you need graphics for your channel? No, I don't. Go away. Which isn't much better, though, to be. They're Canadian now? Well, yeah, that definitely will help. Canada is now Pakistan and North America. Facts. Yeah, but did they completely relocate out of Poland, or do they still? I thought they still had a headquarters in Poland and just had a studio in Canada, in Vancouver. Yeah, I don't know. I think it still kind of sucks either way. PS5 feels like a remaster remake game ports machine with some real PS5 games, dude. Yeah. So PS5 is, I don't know. My kids, I'm trying to figure out what to get them for Christmas, and we don't want to spend a whole bunch of money. We haven't bought them like any small things. We help them do all their shopping for each other. They like to do like their little YouTube video blog type stuff where they make a movie and shit. And it's really cringe and they have fun. Like, okay. So I was thinking about getting them a camera for Christmas. My wife and I were talking about it, but needing to get them a better camera to make their little movies with. They've done like stop motion stuff. They've done stuff with like reenacting like the Mario movie and all that. Like I said, it's really cringe, but it's kind of cute. But it's like, then I'm like, you know, Costco's got a PS5 on sale. Don't want to buy a PlayStation. I've been joking with the kids that I'm going to buy them a PlayStation. They're like, no, you're not. It's not funny. I'm like, oh, let's get a PlayStation. But it's like, I don't know. Part of me just wants to say, well, we'll just do that and call it good for this year. But I don't know. Still getting PS4 games for $70. Yeah, no, that's a legitimate thing. And unfortunately, the more people are willing to spend $70 on a game, the more that's going to keep happening. It's unfortunate. All right, so let's talk about Suicide Squad. Kill the Justice League. Woohoo! I buy most of your games from pawn shops and GameStops. Dude, Natsuno, that's the thing. Okay, so this is not me being paid to say this anymore, because like I said, Instant Gaming no longer sponsors the channel. I still have my affiliate link with them. So I still get commissions and stuff. But that's why I like buying games if I'm going to pay full price through other means like cdkeys.com or, you know, Instant Gaming and all that kind of stuff. If I'm going to have to pay full price for a game, I still like to find ways to save a few bucks here and there. I wish that buying physical was easier. I have a disc drive on my PC. I just never bother buying physical discs anymore. It sucks. They'll scream like Nintendo 64. Oh my gosh, yeah. So it says, from Fandom Pulse here, Warner Brothers finally kills off Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League after taking out over $200 million in impairment charges. Yikes. Are these actual skins from the game? I never saw these ones. You guys seeing this? Oh my god, this is so bad. Now, is this the new guy, Deathstroke? I thought they made him black. Why is he white? Isn't his daughter in the game that Lawless character? Isn't it Lucy Lawless or whatever her name is? I thought that they made Deathstroke black. I'm so confused. Sushi Squad. Nintendo 64. Yep, that's the song. I'm having flashbacks, but can't recall the song you guys are talking about like explicitly. I'm remembering things, but I'm not necessarily knowing for sure. Let's see. Warner Brothers Discovery and Rocksteady Studios announced it'll finally kill off its beleaguered Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game in 2025. Ooh, we got 1 month to go. In a blog post providing details about the game's fourth season, Rocksteady announced with Deathstroke joining the roster, the Suicide Squad's crusade against Brainiac is drawing to an end. Season 4 will finish up with Episode 8, which is scheduled to release in January 2025, and that will serve as the last seasonal episode for Kill the Justice. While Season 4, Episode 8 will mark the final battle against Brainiac, all online features will continue to be available, so you'll still be able to enjoy co-op with friends, as well as all previous seasonal episodic content. You'll have the option to play the game via the new offline mode. Well, that's them saying get used to playing this by yourself. That's all that is. Which allows access to main story campaign and all post-launch seasonal gameplay content without an internet connection. The game's cancellation is no surprise. The game only achieved an all-time peak concurrent player count of just 13,459 plays. Wah, wah, wah. Oh my god, look at that drop-off. Oh my god, I forgot how bad it was. I forgot how really, truly wretched it was. Oh man. Good morning, Dreamer. How are you doing? Realized they have studios in Warsaw, Boston. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I thought they had those in there. They made Joker a twink. Lugia, they made Joker a twink because they brought in frickin' the dude that played Morph to be the character. And this is what I've talked about again before with the casting directors working with the studios and developers and the consultant companies. They're all working on it together. The casting director goes, I work for a casting guild that says we need more diversity in our games. So then they go and they talk to the people writing the story, who then change the characters to fit more of the LGBT or the, activist side of things. They then go hire people like, what's his ass, JP Carliak, the guy that did Morph and Joker, to fit the role because they themselves are gay or trans or non-binary. It all goes together. There's a reason that you saw the twink Joker. It's because JP Carliak, the voice actor, is gay. And they hired him because they wanted to make Joker gay. And they wanted authentic voice acting. It's all the same crap. It's all connected. It all goes together. Oh, Lugia, they'll learn eventually. Why does he look like an ancient Greek soldier? I don't know. That was Deathstroke, right? I'm pretty sure that was him. It was a very strange costume. I didn't hate it. I don't like the color scheme. But I some of it I could kind of dig, but like the colors are really weird. I don't know. But all the colors for this game, all the skins are really, really bad. Let's see. On top of the game's player counts being abysmally low, Warner Brothers Discovery also admitted that it took out a $200 million impairment charge on the game. The CFO, Gunnar Wiedenfels, German man, revealing during the company's first quarterly earnings result webcast that starting with studios, the $400 million plus year-over-year decline during quarter one was primarily due to the very tough competition we faced in games against the success of Hogwarts Legacy last year in the first quarter, in conjunction with the disappointing Suicide Squad release, which paired leading to a $200 million impact to EBITDA during the first quarter. More recently, it's Weidenfels. If we're speaking German, it's Weidenfels. Revealed that the company's entire games division had over $300 million in write-downs. Oh boy. Very, very, very bad. Let's see. Given Sweet Baby Inc. worked on that game, the game was added to the Sweet Baby Inc. Detective Steam Curator list. Yeah, this is all stuff we already know. This is all old history. Very, very sad. They either learn or their kids be speaking Chinese soon enough. Tekla, you are not wrong. Just keep de novo and remove the game instead. Oh my god. Yeah, now that all the DLCs are out, although I thought they were going to have 5 seasons. I thought that they said that they were going to try to get through 5 before they pulled the game offline. So I think they're actually pulling the game a season early. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was supposed to be 5 seasons. But now I want to check in over here with Gothic Therapy, because apparently they had this video where they have a new game coming out connected to Sweet Baby Inc. And I kind of want to play this. Let me go back to where after the... All right. Let's take a look at this. I haven't actually watched much of this yet.
I think alpha potentially. But what cued me into this game is I noticed that a lot of people about Sweet Baby Inc. were talking about this game. How did I notice? Well, if you'll look, you'll see a lot of them were sharing it. Will Herring, Kim Belair, Tristan JT, and Dave Bedard. All of those people were sharing this post from Hidden.io, which is the company that creates this game.
All right, so the game is Zix. It's a VR game. Company is called Hidden.io. I want to look this up. We'll just do a little bit of sleuth work while we're working here. Hidden.io. Let me see here. I can't even find anything. Although sometimes Brave browsers search optimization is not great. Hidden IO, that's the actual name of the studio. What the hell? Try LinkedIn. See if we can find something there. Hidden IO, here we go. All right. You all 12 employees. It's a company, oh my god, in Montreal, Quebec. Go figure. Sublime by Design. Interactive media company specializing in utilizing invisible design to capture the mystic and sublime. We are currently working on our flagship project, Zix. Zix is a cooperative multiplayer roguelike built ground up for VR. Oh, they got a website. Here we go. Check this out. A Meta Quest trailer. No longer hidden. Okay, I just had to see it. Okay, so here's something. I mentioned this on the stream last night talking about Avowed. Not Dix, Zix. Z-I-X. A lot of these games, and I think maybe I'll leave off Zao, Tales of Kinzera, because at least that game, for what it was, looked more like a finished game for a side-scrolling game. A lot of what I've noticed about these games that these consulting companies like Sweet Baby Inc. work on, they are really shitty games. Now, again, a lot of them are not like big AAA studio titles. So games like Dustborn, you know, the ones that had a lot of the woke shit in it, it was meant to be a smaller game that nobody was even going to really pay attention to. Because again, it was just embezzling. If you get it, when it gets all down to it, it really was just kind of like. So that being said, games like this are not supposed to be like massive AAA hits. They're simply a means to an end for companies like Sweet Baby Inc. But what I always find funny is that so many of them look like utter trash. Like, just garbage. Just complete and utter garbage game. I'm getting like Risk of Rain meets Ghost Runner VR. I don't know, it's a very strange game. And again, yeah, why do they always have such stupid names? Zix. What the hell is a Zik? Oh man. No, yeah, Dreamer, it's a VR game. Why is there so much pink and purple? Ah, Lugia. Lugia. That's it, you know? Copyright music? I don't know, Mahendra. I don't think that this music is, like, copyrighted. If it is, then you know what? I'll just have to clip it out after the stream's over. Yeah, Dreamer, it's a VR game. And like I said, I don't understand why these names of these games always... You think it looks decent? I don't know. For me personally, it's not just the fact that it's a Sweet Baby affiliated game. I don't have much use for VR, guys. Like, even some of the better VR stuff I've kind of experimented with. I've never had like the full, like the PlayStation VR headset and stuff that people play. Like, I had friends that had that a couple years ago where they had, I guess you set up the towers in your room so you create like the boundary for yourself to walk around in for your game. I could see like the benefits to playing those kind of VR games. But even then, I just don't care. VR is not something for me that I've ever thought was that interesting, like that I really wanted to get into. So I do find it funny, though, that Sweet Baby Inc. always kind of latches on to these titles, these games that really either nobody's heard of, or they're titles that were supposed to be good, and then they kind of like flip the script on it. They give you motion sickness? Yeah. Trans-color-coded Yasuke was funny. Yeah, no, I saw that going all over Twitter. That's why I posted it. I'm like, how do you do, fellow LGBT BIPOC samurai? It's very yeah, I don't get the motion sickness so much from the VR. It's more at like the headache. Definitely having that screen that close to your face for me, it's a bit much. So let's continue watching because they found out some interesting stuff about this.
So it already had me curious, but of course, it could just be friends of theirs, right? How would I know this is Sweet Baby Inc? So I did a lot of digging, and wouldn't you know, all the people involved with Hidden IO were hidden on LinkedIn.
Dun, dun, dun.
All of their games were hidden. They've rebranded their game. They originally were called Hidden Gem, and they've now become Hidden IO. But basically, it was very hard to find any information. So I was doubting it. I was like, okay, I'm probably going to have to mention this as like a rumor, but I believe there's Sweet Baby Inc. involvement. But unfortunately for them, and fortunately for me, they made a critical error. You see, they have a Discord. And I decided to go infiltrate the Discord. Now, I was sure if they were careful that it wouldn't be mentioned there that any of the Sweet Baby Inc. people were involved. However, they were, but not in discussions. How did I prove this? Here you go, guys. Are you ready for it? Here we have Eve Juno, or Junu, or whatever her name is. If you see in the bottom right.
Eve Juno. It'd be Juno. I think he's got that right. Let's go look her up. I'm curious now. We're already on LinkedIn. Let's see if we can find this person. Oh, they're probably gonna make me like join. I'm not doing that. I haven't had to do that yet on Brave. I actually had to make a fake profile on LinkedIn, on Chrome, because I started realizing I had an old LinkedIn account years ago I set up with my actual name. And then I'm like, I started noticing people that I was watching were watching me back, like going to my profile. I'm like, I'm going to change my name and information on here just to be safe. Eve Juno. I know I'm going to completely butcher how to spell it. No, that's not it, is it? Jeaneau? Juneau. Okay. So weird. Maybe my spelling's off. I don't know. I'm very tired. All right, writer for Sweet Baby Inc. Project coordinator, passionate about creating engaging user experience. I bet you are. Concordia University. Oh, personal website. We have here. Town Square, Maxine, Sophia Wolf, Spyglass Eyewear. What is all this? My name is Eve Juno. They, she. Oh my god. She's a they, she. Oh boy. Okay. Specializing in web design via React.js. I'm passionate about creating user experiences that stick with people. For 4 years of experience, both in freelance as well as company web development, I offer services ranging from consultation to design to fully building and hosting your ideas. If you'd like to get in touch, feel free to reach out. Interesting. All projects. Town Square. What is this? Local contractor service. Simple responsive portfolio site. Maxine Sophia Wolf. What? I'm very confused. What is this? Sunglasses web store? Reclaim Literacy nonprofit organization?
Are the best way to show someone how much
Open
you care.
kitchen meal preparation service?
It is like this tangible thing that you can point to and say, hey man, I love you. This many dollars worth.
This is the good way to fight the gaming culture, investigating and exposing.
Hi, Lugia, thanks for the 5. Yeah, dude, this is the stuff that, you know, when I first started really digging into this stuff 7 months ago, 8 months ago now, this is the stuff that I found interesting, was like connecting all these dots. Because again, I missed out on Gamergate 1. I didn't even have a clue, you know, about how everything had kind of transpired before. And then as I was looking into Sweet Baby Inc. and Weird Ghosts, Baby Ghosts, all these companies, and of course where the money came from and all the backstory on it, that's what I was like, whoa, this is insane. And so when I've done some articles in the recent past where it's like I'm covering stuff that nobody else is covering and it's not getting any views, it sucks, but at the same time, it's rewarding because you know that you're actually doing decent, you know? Is it different than she, they? I don't know. I don't know what a they, she is. Like she, they, I typically, I attribute that to being, okay, it's a woman who doesn't want to pretend to be, she wants to pretend to be something else, right? But, yeah. Skim connected to Sweet Baby Inc. They're going to mess up the story and show propaganda to our faces. They can't help themselves if they do. Yeah, the game library full of 2015 to 2018 games is definitely, that's key right there. There are too many she's, so they became they. Too many she's in her head. Maybe all the she's synchronized, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, so Zix, really interesting.
Right corner, Eve Juno, project coordinator, and she is currently working at Sweet Baby Inc. But here's the kicker, guys. When I went into the server and looked around, who would have thought? You'll see it says, "Hey, at Eve, welcome to Hidden IO," and it's Eve Junu underscore SBI. But wait, they can't be that dumb. Maybe they're just friends, right? I thought that too until I looked at her titles. If you'll look, what are her roles? Narrative and narrative outsourcer. What is a narrative outsourcer? Well, it is a person that people go to for information about narrative stuff that is not involved necessarily in the main team. In other words, that is literally Sweet Baby Inc. So because of their own Discord and the fact that they labeled it clearly for me to determine, they accidentally revealed, again, there was no more information. There was none of the information. It was nowhere, okay? There was no information. I looked everywhere. I searched everything. There was nothing. But because they let her come in, they, them, whatever, she, they, whatever, I don't care. Because they literally let this person come in and labeled them narrative and narrative outsourcer, behold, Sweet Baby Inc. And this game is set to come out in 2025. So this is not...
2025 is going to be a very interesting year. We all thought 2024 was really bad for like Concord and Suicide Squad and all that. So to a certain degree, I don't think there's going to be bigger flops in 2025 than we've had this year. But I think that there's going to be more of them that were already on the back burner that just kind of like fizzle out. Like games like this, games that nobody's going to play. Because first off, no one's ever heard of it. Like Lugia said, it looks interesting to them. Okay. That, you know, if it looks good or interesting to you, that's one thing. But these are not games that have any like real exposure. So the chances of them ever being successful anyways are between slim and none. They use pronouns as not titles. She is for women, females, and he is for men, males, and they is for more persons. Yeah, no, it's just completely jacked up. None of it makes sense. Don't try to figure it out. Farming out narrative seems so dumb. I just, these people, they can't help themselves. I swear to God, they just can't help themselves.
Not a old Sweet Baby Inc. game. This is a new Sweet Baby Inc. game. Meaning that we can now confirm that they are still involved with video games, which we knew they were going to be. But at the same time, we now know that they are currently involved in active games. If it wasn't already confirmed by all the Sweet Baby Inc. people reposting this Hidden IO game, this has literally proved it. So they hid their information. I want to make this very clear. This was not easy to find. The reason it was not easy to find is because they hid it. They did hide this information. Sweet Baby Inc.
That is pretty hilarious that Hidden IO hid information. 2025 will be another flop of DEI games and some actually good non-DEI games like Kingdom Come 2. Yeah, dude, I am so looking forward to that game. I'm going to try to get through some more of the first game, but I'm just going to have to accept the fact that I'm basically going to be starting more or less from scratch with Kingdom Come 2 because I've only put like 12 hours, I think, into the first game due to the fact that there are so many games in my backlog that I'm trying to like work my way through. Like on a night where I don't have to do anything else, I default to playing games like Insurgency because I can just relax, put on some music, listen to some Swedish metal while I'm getting, you know, completely destroyed by you know, griefers online and shit. But yeah, no, it's one of those things that I'm so looking forward to that game, especially given the fact that even though the system requirements are kind of chunky like Indiana Jones, I think my computer will still be able to handle Kingdom Come 2. I might have to, you know, January, February, replace my graphics card. We'll see. You know? Yeah, making it a gender does defeat itself because the entire point is to be ambiguous with what their actual biological gender is. Because again, gender is a construct and has nothing to do with your sex. That's BS. Oh no, Lucio, we'll be streaming Kingdom Come Deliverance too. I don't do VR, so I couldn't stream this Zix game, but I'll be streaming Kingdom Come Deliverance too. I pre-ordered it. I got the what do they call it? The Gold Edition. So I'm set. I'm ready to go once the game launches, provided my computer can handle it. Every part of my computer is good to run it. I got plenty of RAM. I got, everything else is fine. The CPU could handle it. My graphics card's old. That's the part that I haven't replaced. So we'll have to see. It's handling Stalker 2 the last few times I've streamed it. So I don't know. Maybe Kingdom Come will be all right.
After the Powell Group was exposed by us, they have been very, very careful. I have heard that they are not very happy. And so they were basically all putting their nose to the grindstone, and they had zero plans, to make any noise. So they were trying to hide. But
yeah, and oh no, he has no eyes. The man has no eyes. Oh no. So this was another thing, this Powell Group connection that Master of the TDS found a while back. It's really strange because I guess through some weird connection with Humble Bundle and Sweet Baby Inc. and Powell Group, I guess IGN is also connected to them, or some of these other gaming media sites, because of basically being connected by this Powell Group. I don't know. A lot of weird shit going on behind the scenes with these people.
Because they were stupid and they didn't pay enough attention, we caught them.
I've also wanted to point out, I find it interesting that the day this woman joined that Discord server is the same day she made a Discord account.
I find it funny that they keep referring to this person as a woman. And given the fact that they go by she, they, or they, she, or whatever the hell they go by, I have serious doubts that it's actually a biological like, I feel like there's an Adam's apple. It'd be crazy. Dude, I might just be the shadow right there, but I feel like we're seeing an Adam's apple. So hard to tell sometimes just from looking at a picture. Very weird.
I wonder why that could be.
Yeah, look, if you could see, members since March 22nd, 2024, and then she joined the same day.
So she made the account perhaps made the account just to join this server so she can discuss with people what to do on this game.
Furthermore, based on what we're looking at with the Zix game, it doesn't look like the kind of game that really is going to have much narrative. What is there really for these companies? Like, when we saw that that Sweet Baby Inc. was connected to... Crap, there was a game recently that came out that didn't seem to have much need for narrative design at all. Like, it very little dialogue in the game. Why waste so much money and so much time hiring people who can't have any positive effect on your company, you know? That's the man, baby. Oh, yeah. The name Eve is rare. When one doesn't pick it themselves. Yeah, no, I'd have to go through Chrome and use my actual account on LinkedIn to blow the picture up larger. We could search for it on Brave. I don't want to switch to Google. I'd rather stick with Brave for the streams because it just runs so much better. But, let's see. So, see if we can find an image. Brave sucks for actually searching. Guess we can do. Still work on here. There we go. No, I don't want to go to LinkedIn. I want just the image. Okay. Yeah, this isn't working properly. I don't know. What are we thinking, guys? Under all that makeup and the glasses, I'm feeling mannish features there. Like, no doubt. I'm like the palm leaves. Yeah, David, I'm seeing an Adam's apple there. It's the crew game? Is that what it is? Yeah, there was one of these games. I'm like, what could they possibly have a need for Sweet Baby Inc. on? And you could say, okay, maybe Sweet Baby Inc. doesn't just do Political activist injection into games. Maybe once in a while they actually do some decent writing work for a game that needs a writer. Okay, fine. But if it's a game that has such like tiny amount of narrative, couldn't you just have one of your own writers in-house just do the writing? It's like, why hire these outside people? I don't know. Very strange.
It seems like there are two brothers who built this game, okay? And it might be their first game. So there are other people. For example, one of them I can mention is Abu Bakar Salim, made his first game. We do not know how these people are involved with Sweet Baby Inc., okay? I'm not saying we should give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm saying if they come out and ask to and want to actually have discussions like Abu Bakar has, we should give them that time.
Agreed.
But the fact that they were trying to hide it so well makes me think that there is clearly some ulterior motive there. And so, unfortunately, they weren't able to hide it well enough.
Yeah, the picture did look heavily filtered. Yeah, I think we're all on the same page there. Tons of filters. That's the thing too. And okay, it's bad enough. We've had this conversation a lot in the past, I'm sure. But people argue about this online all the time about like fake boobs and plastic surgery on women and makeup and lipstick and all that kind of stuff. And the majority of men, we all say we don't like a lot of makeup on women. And then you look at the women that men are attracted to, and it tends to be women who wear makeup because, let's face it, let's be real, makeup is designed to attract, well, in general, men. It's supposed to, make the woman look more alluring and more attractive. But I think there's a degree where men prefer women that can look good without the makeup on, or at least who only put a certain amount of makeup on before they look like a freaking blow-up doll, right? With a lot of what we've seen with the people, especially like the activists, people who put their profile picture maybe on LinkedIn, but on Twitter or on Discord, they have like, again, an anime avatar, or not anime, again, just a cartoon of themselves, a drawn picture of themselves. It's how they think they want to look, how they perceive themselves. And then when you see their actual photo against their avatar, which is again animated, they look like a man over here, but over here they look like a beautiful woman. And you go, this is only in your head, the way that you believe you look, or that the way you want to see yourself look. Oh, that's a great name. Futube. There are women with giant hands, but they have small wrists. Interesting. That is possible, I guess. So yeah, I personally am one of those ones that's like, I prefer a woman with no plastic surgery and minimal makeup, not like, fake face and shit. Yeah, but that's a great, fantastic.
And because of that, they were found out. So it is a confirmed Sweet Baby Inc. game. It is on Steam. You can actually, it's early access on Steam. It is there. And it is a VR game. It's a pretty interesting game, but it's Sweet Baby. And they tried to hide it, and they did a pretty...
I don't know. He said it looks interesting. I know, Lugia, you said it looks interesting. For me personally, I'm already not a huge fan of VR as it is. For me personally, the game just didn't seem to have anything of interest. But something interesting, though, something very interesting that I've seen, apparently that this shit with Ubisoft, and I know we shared that picture this morning on YouTube of the Yasuke with the flowers around his head looking like all super gay and everything. Ubisoft apparently is trying to stall the buyout because the Gimo is wanting to maintain control, despite the fact that Tencent already owns a sizable amount of Ubisoft. They're trying to hold on to power even if Tencent takes over. So this shit is absolutely crazy. Hey, Joji, how's it going? Was it Joji Podgy or Joji Poji? I don't know. I'm sure I'm butchering it either way. Let me move my camera back over here. I feel like I'm looking the wrong direction. Oh, what did I just move? I moved something invisible. Oh, that. Okay, I grabbed the wrong thing. That's what she said. There we go. We're back where we belong. I feel more comfortable now. No. Not Suno. I didn't mean anime. I meant animated, like the cartoon avatars. You'll see this a lot with a lot of the activists. They have this rendition of themselves, like they paid some Fiverr artists to draw them as like a woman with like it'll have like the pink or purple background, like we've talked about, the same kind of colors, and they'll always have like big glasses on and their hair swooshed down and their makeup on and stuff. And then you'll see a picture of them in real life, and it's like, oh, holy crap. Father Saladin or Deborah the Zebra. Ooh, I like Salad. Is it Saladin or Saladin? Tencent is like harbinger for Mass Effect 2, assuming direct control. Yeah, Tencent is just literally worming their way into every single studio that exists, getting to be really bad. So that Park Place has this article. It says a potential buyout of French game developer Ubisoft, the studio behind Assassin's Creed, has stalled as the Guillemot family fights to maintain control over the company. It's really funny that if you go back a year ago, if you thought that Tencent was going to buy out Ubisoft or that Ubisoft was suffering or having issues, you were just some crazy right-wing conspiracy theorist, telling lies online, and you're a grifter and you're making stuff up for YouTube views and money. Like now it's like the freaking media has already started reporting on this. Oh, look at Ubisoft is looking to sell off because of all these hard, financial times. It's like, dude, we've been talking about this for like a year now. Even voice actors are woke, and I wonder if Matt Mercer... Dude, honestly, most voice actors are woke. It's just the reality of how things go. I don't know if it's always been that way. Look, we all know that Hollywood has always been weird. It's always been full of like communists and left-wing activists, and that's always been a thing, right? But I guess for a lot of people, because video games weren't as popular, animation wasn't as, I guess, respected as it is nowadays, and you just didn't know as much because social media wasn't a thing. Voice actors have never had the clout that Hollywood actors have had up until, I would say, like the last, 10, 15 years or whatever. Now you have voice actors who are very well known because of social media, because of the success of video games and the widespread like mainstreaming of video games. So now voice actors are unfortunately being able to go out there and express how woke and how left-wing they are, to the point where now it's like you're seeing that just like Hollywood is like 75-80% left-wing, voice acting is as much the same thing, which is again unfortunate because it's like a lot of people are very they remember a lot of these voice actors very fondly, even like the dude that did Batman for the Arkham series, Kevin Conroy. What some of his tweets before his passing were like pro-trans and this and that. It's like, yeah, he was probably pretty woke too. A lot of people respected him, and I'm sure he did great work. But it's like he himself was probably pretty woke by today's standards. Says Ubisoft has been in a bad way of late with financial woes and a series of failed games dogging their once powerful studio. The Guillemot family, who started Ubisoft in 1986, they started on the year I was born. How sweet. Have led their company down the path of ruin. Now they face an unenviable... they should have caught that. Unenviable. Although saying an unenviable... God, say that 5 times fast. They face an unenviable situation. The company needs to buy up stock and privatize if it has any hope of staving off the hostile takeover. That's why it's seeking partners like Chinese company Tencent, which already owns 10% of Ubisoft. However, negotiations have reportedly hit a snag with the Guillemot family fighting to maintain control of their studio following... Okay, only the Guillemot family, only these people who have huffed so much of their own farts for the last, 15 years, could honestly think that they could sell off their company, the majority share of their company, to somebody else, privatize it, buy back the stock, and again, sell it to a private shareholder or whatever, however they do all that crap. I'm not an investment guy, so I don't know the ins and outs of every piece. These people somehow think that they could do that, sell it to a company like Tencent, and then have the balls to say, but we want to maintain control. Like, how is that even possible? Ubisoft's last big selling game was probably Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I think people liked Mirage better, but I'm pretty sure Valhalla did better numbers. You could fact check me on that. I'm probably wrong about that, but I think Valhalla did well for numbers. Do not trust Tencent and NetEase. They are owned by the CCP. 100%. And unfortunately, again, we talked about a lot with the whole Black Myth Wukong thing. As wonderful as it was to see a good game like Black Myth Wukong, which, again, is a fantastic game. I'm halfway through it. Eventually, I'll finish it. Great game. It's a very long game. I'm surprised at how long it is. As great as it was to see games like that piss off the wokies and all that, it is unfortunate that a lot of people, myself included, bought the game, which did, again, support the CCP. Again, I've said many times, you can try to pick and choose how you avoid supporting the CCP. If you buy a cell phone in the United States or in the West, a company in China made your phone, like it or not. It was assembled with parts made in China. So everything you purchase in the technology sphere tends to go back to China on site. So it's really hard to do that. Yeah, so Natsuno, it's very easy to say I'm not buying games that are funded by the CCP. That's an easy thing to do. If you choose not to do that, that's a very specific thing that you can look at all the companies and say, if it's owned by Tencent, I'm not going to buy it. Great. When it comes to technology, if you build a computer, any computer, I don't know of a company that you can put it together, assemble your entire computer from scratch, and avoid buying any parts that were assembled in China. I don't think it's possible, you know? Valhalla did better? Okay, that's what I thought. I didn't even play Valhalla because two things. One, playing a Viking warrior woman I thought was stupid. And two, I've been so burned out on like Viking entertainment stuff because, again, the weirdo activists have co-opted Vikings to where now it's like every other trans person thinks that they're like some Viking or something. And I'm like, guys, Vikings would not have put up with you. They would have took one look at you and threw you overboard or raided your village and murdered all of you. Like, Vikings would not have put up with like this trans crap. not one freaking bit, you know? Ubisoft was established a month before the Chernobyl disaster. Oh my god, I didn't realize that I was born the same year as Chernobyl. Oh man, that's bad luck, right? I always thought 86 was like the best year ever because we had Top Gun, Ronald Reagan was president, we had a lot of great music that came out that year. I think Karate Kid 2 came out somewhere around 86. I could be wrong, it might have come out a little bit after that. Oh, I didn't realize that I was part of the reason that Chernobyl happened. Although I was born in June, so that was afterward. I can't be blamed for that. It says, Ubisoft's development approach remains stubbornly outdated in an era demanding player engagement and community building. Without a fundamental shift in how they develop and maintain games, they risk further alienating both investors and players. X-Defiant shutdown isn't just another failed launch, it's a symptom of a company that insists on catering to a passive audience while failing to recognize the urgency. Well, the unfortunate side, I think, for a lot of us in this situation, it's not just Ubisoft needing to rethink their, how they're going to do things. There is a certain amount of this to go, okay, Ubisoft has already been screwing people left and right by saying, get used to not owning your own games, don't buy physical, just buy digital, which a lot of us do, unfortunately. But this is going to make them double down on that, I think, harder. It's not going to make them more gamer-friendly. It's going to make them go, we have to cut costs across the board, which means no physical discs ever again. Which is, unfortunately, the direction we're headed. I don't know if we can even avoid that at this point. Where was that at? Somebody asked me about Indiana Jones. I think it was Mahendra. Let me see if I bookmarked the clip I saw of it. Somebody had shared, here we go, talking about AAA slop, right? So this account here, Rock Solid on Twitter, said, streaming Indiana Jones in the Great Circle, let's see if it's Gem or Reddit. And then they posted this clip here and says, this is one of the most boring, uninspired video games I've played in the past years. The combat sucks, the story sucks, the characters suck. The graphics on maximum settings and upscaling can still somehow not loaded book covers. Ignore anyone who tries to shill this shit, which is sad because I've seen a lot of people who said the game was actually good, right? So this clip here I haven't actually watched yet.
I can take you on.
What are we watching?
What do you guys think about this combat, huh?
Wait. The chick is just throwing bottles at the guy and is just breaking off at him with no reaction. Okay, so maybe I am just spoiled by too much violence and mayhem and blood and guts and gore, but I couldn't possibly find satisfaction in a video game where all you do is stand and punch. I don't know. Like, even games where you have the option, like RPGs, where you can increase your boxing skill instead of, like, using weapons, I never punch. Hardly ever. Once in a while, like on Valheim, because I played that game for so many hours, if there was a creature that I just wanted to kill really quickly and it was annoying, I didn't even want to bother pulling out my weapon. I would just run by and punch it and kill it in, like, a hits. But in general, games that focus so heavily on boxing instead of, like, killing people and using weapons, they're not satisfying, you know? It does a rip-off of Punch-Out. Just looks like crap. Are they still there? Dog and the cat.
I can take you on.
Oh, he jumped down. Where are you putting him tonight?
Back at you.
What do you guys think about this combat, huh?
Wait, who knocked him down? Wait a second. Oh, okay. Finally, a punch to the back of the head did it. All right. What's that? Punch only follow a bit of a drag. The ragdolling is something to go. I don't know. For me personally, games where all you do focus on is punching is just boring. It has weapons. You only know what happens in the first few hours. That said, you're not commenting on what you're watching. Honestly, like, I know that he has a revolver in the game and that you can use weapons, but it just seems like we saw this with one of the guys who was one of like the environmental artists for Halo, I guess it was. I can't remember what he focused on in the game. That came out and said he didn't want to make games that had shooting in them, and then he worked on Halo. I feel like a lot of this is this anti-violence or anti-weapon gaming people who think that, you know, violence in games actually causes real violence, which doesn't actually, not a thing. And that's why we get games like this where they try to make indie not commit as much violence as possible. If you go back and watch, I was just thinking about it because I haven't watched Indiana Jones in a while. If you go back and watch Last Crusade, he kills so freaking many people in that movie. Like he has at one point, he's like got the machine gun on the airplane, he's shooting down the other plane. Oh, is that his dad that does it? Oh yeah, his dad does it because he's flying. Then of course, like at the end of it, the Nazis and shit that he's shooting, like shoots one bullet through 3 different guys and stuff. The end of freaking Temple of Doom, no, Temple of well, he kills a lot of people in Temple of Doom too. The end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, like all the Nazis get like, you know, obliterated, and he knows that they're all gonna die. It's like there's a lot of death in Indiana Jones. I don't know why you would try to sanitize it for Ninja Brothers for the NES. Yeah, I'm not saying that there's not a place for it. I can't imagine playing like a story-driven 12-hour, because I think this is like a 12-hour story game. And you have the weapon, but you try your hardest not to use it. It just seems weird. I don't know. Hey, are you all done working? Yeah. Oh, you did get all done. NS, you come in at the end of the stream and you want me to catch you up on everything? Oh, man. Okay, the CEO for the health insurance company that got executed, assassinated by that dude, and all these women are like simping for him. Like Alyssa Mercante is all like, I live in Brooklyn, or by the way, come find me. Taylor Lorenz is talking to Piers Morgan, and she's all joyful, smiling, and says basically this is a good thing. There's a lot to it. So, anyways, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta get some sleep. And then I'm going to do our Wednesday stream. I'll pick a indie game to play on Wednesday night. Friday, I'm probably going to do, instead of Stalker 2, we'll either check out Ghost of Tsushima or, crap, there's some other ones I wanted to play. I got Ready or Not on sale. I'm not going to do Hogwarts Legacy. I'll check that out on my own. All right, Oblivion, you have a good night, guys. I'm going to get some sleep. I need to get out of here. I'm exhausted. It's been a long couple of nights. But yeah, I'll try to get some stuff out tomorrow night, and then of course we'll do our Wednesday stream on Wednesday. God, I'm so exhausted. 2 days from now. There we go. It's Monday. No worries, NS. Yeah, it just these women are insane. Women are damaged. They're broken. I feel bad for you younger people because women are irreparably damaged at this